Guys, we're back with another review. This time we're continuing our War for Cybertron Siege line, focusing on our deluxe figures specifically for the Autobots. We have Hound and we have our deluxe class Sideswipe, and honestly they look great. I am digging these figures and we'll talk more about them. So I got these guys during the Wave 1 launch, and I was with my guys and my crew, Xavier, Bojo, Vince, and Alfred. We were all buying our Transformers, and I really didn't want to get them at first, but when I started seeing them, it totally changed my mind, because when I saw them in the videos, when I saw them on the internet, they looked a little different from what I just tried collecting in the first place. I started with Chugs, and I was a little iffy because I really think that I couldn't replace them anymore. But these guys from Siege started popping up, and I got them, and I'm very happy that I did. So before we start getting into the nitty gritty of the whole review, let's try to check out again these guys' boxes. We have the box for Hound right here, and very nice artwork right there. A little mad and cuppy looking design for Hound. He looks like, I'm gonna pound you. And I'm not saying the art looks not cool, but I like my Hound a little more happy, because I always see him smiling in the G1 cartoon. And it says there's Siege, it says there's Hound. The cool thing about this is you can see somebody just removed the price tag. This Hound is very special because it was a gift from me, from my girlfriend, and it's very sweet. And I think that's a really wonderful gesture that you did right there. She supports me with my hobby. Shout out to you, B. And this is the Hasbro version, and again, there's really no distinction between Hasbro and Takara if you get the two versions. We have the very nice looking Hummer mode, the robot mode. Some indication that you could use the little Micromasters like Target Masters and these weaponizers. So there you go. Let's remove that guy. They have fallen, that's fine. Let's just put them up right here. Okay. And then we have the box for Sideswipe. So we can see that Sideswipe, oops, my camera is really shaky. There you go. Sideswipe is running, and again, very angry looking Sideswipe. And there you go. Now this one has a price tag. It's 1,000 pesos. That's a very far off price from the usual 700 pesos that we had before with our deluxes, but that's what we get right now. So Takara Tomy, Hasbro, grand unification, wonderful art, very nice Lambo. My friend Talks mentioned that this is something that he likes. He did a little customization when it comes to the windshield of it, because it was pure black. We'll talk about that later. Weaponizers, Micromasters, wonderful robot design. There you go. Sideswipe, Siege, awesome stuff. Let's go to the breakdown of these dudes. Now, as you can see, it fell. Let's go to that part. I know they're falling because my little backdrop here has been used several times, but one thing that I like to focus at, these guys come with ankle tilts, and that's one awesome thing that we didn't really have with our old deluxe class Chugs. So I'm saying that Chugs because I like saying it, and that's what I call my Classics Henkei Universe Generations line. So I like that they have ankle tilts. That's the big selling point for me right there. So you can pose them and do different stances, And in the previous incarnations of our deluxe figures, they don't really have a lot of ankle tilts. You have the usual knee joint, thigh. Doesn't really have a thigh swivel midway right there, but that's part of the transformation. You have wrist movement up and down. There you go. You have elbow movement. The head on, what do you call this, Hound is a little limited. It's a little too dark. Let's try to focus on that. But I like the sculpt on this. Look at that prominent chin. I like the blue in the eyes. I like the head sculpt. He looks serious at the same time. It's very reminiscent to the Hound that we grew and loved back in the 80s with the G1 Transformers. Let's go to the back part. I like the backpack thingy right here. Very matte looking plastic Autobot insignia. I like the camo green that they've used on Hound. Hound has very little paint scrapes that would look like he's worn down, because it actually matches with the camo green and it camouflages him. So I don't really think that that's a big problem or whatsoever. But there are still that weird little battle-worn paint scrapes on Hound, and it's not a biggie. I mean, he is a soldier. Oh, so there's more right here. He's a soldier, and he's supposed to be a rough and tumble kind of guy. So I like the star. Very nice color scheme. Very nice articulation. Feels a little light though, but we'll talk about that. So I said that they feel light, you know, as at first touch. Now this is the winner out of the two. I really think that Deluxe Sideswipe is the best out of all the Deluxes that has come out so far in the Siege line. He is my favorite. He is super duper looking accurate with that face. That G1 looking face just takes the cake. Look at that. Ah, man, my camera is not doing justice, guys. Ah, there you go. He looks fantastic. That face looks great. Very menacing, confident looking. He's like he's about to give you that one funky one-liner, that smart aleck quip that, you know, he gets. He gets those battle-worn paint apps again, like he's been skidding through Cybertronian roads. I like that. Like this free movement of the limbs, like that. Very nice. And let's go to the back part. Has a shell-like structure down at the back because this is the windshield. As you can see, it's all black, but I like it still. Now the white on this is a little off. It feels like it's not a bright white. It's like dirty white, kind of like pearl white, like Tamiya pearl. And yep, Hasbro has listened. I hated when they had the whole Combiner Wars that most of the wheels were not given any silver coloring. These guys are listening now, and they're painting their wheels. Good job, Hasbro. Good job. A lot of people have been mentioning that the insignia is a little skewed. It's not a biggie for me. I'm cool with that. One gripe: this is supposed to be white, if I am not mistaken. My friend Docs did a really quick fix for this. He painted a piece of Lego and or used Legos, and then just removed this and added that and made it white. So there you go. I like this. I like these guys. So we're not going to transform them yet, because the whole purpose of this review is to do a comparison. So I have seen so many people in Transformers forums, locally, internationally, that have been letting go of their Chugs, again, Classics, Henkei, Universe, Generations line, in favor of their new Siege counterparts. Now, would I do that? I think I wouldn't. These guys are fantastic as it is, but I still have a very soft spot for my Chugs line. So this is a comparison video, most likely, between the Henkei, or actually these are not Henkei, these are Hasbro versions of Hound, Deluxe Hound, and Deluxe, what do you call this, Deluxe Hound and Deluxe Sideswipe. So sorry about that, my camera is getting a little shaky. So let's pair them together. Let's put that there. And let's do a quick comparison. So as you can see, let's start off with these two military personnel. The first iteration of our deluxe figures, when it came to the size, they were taller, and I like that. I like that they were big. I think that, you know, I would go with bigger. Bigger is better this time when it comes to Transformers. I remember the time when, you know, you had Armada, you had Energon, and most of the figures there were big, sturdy plastic. And as time goes, you would know that Takara and Hasbro has slowly started becoming a little more conscious about the use of plastic in their toy line, and the quality has, you know, dipped a bit, and the sizes are different. So you could see how different the sizes are between these guys, because obviously the Siege line is smaller. The Classics or Henkei version is a lot taller. Now, this one is a little more close to G1 though, and this is a free attempt or a wonderful rendition, an envisioning of what Hound could be looking like in a very anime-ish or futuristic kind of way. We would see that he lacks the weaponry, thus a lot of us has gotten the Fans Project add-on kits for these guys. I forgot, there was like another set of weapons that were given to the Classics figures in the early days of third-party add-ons for Transformers. One thing that I really miss with the Siege line is that they don't have the same light piping that these wonderful figures have. So if you see that, you could see the light coming out of Hound's eyes. You know, my camera is not doing any justice at all, but I miss the light piping, and I don't know how expensive that could be in putting light piping back into Transformers, but I sure miss it. And maybe I'm not the only one that's missing that, but some other collectors out there are missing it. Now, transformation wise, these guys are really weird. We'll talk about that later. The Classics line took a very free approach to it, while I like the engineering more with the Siege line. So totally different figures, and I really don't think that there's a reason why you have to let go of them, because they have their own good points and their opportunities when it comes to playing and collecting these figures. So again, this is your Classics Hound versus your Siege Hound, and side-by-side comparison. See, most of the transformation is hidden with the Siege line, while everything is just like popping up and exposed on these guys right here for the Classics. And some are saying like, oh, the Siege is pretty hollow. You don't forget and remember that the Classics were pretty hollow too. So there you go. Now, I showed this, and my uncle actually dropped by, and he saw some of the figures that I have, and he said that I don't like the Transformers now because well, he was talking about the Bayformers. He's obviously not a fan. He said that I can't see where the transformations would go, because he grew up with Transformers too, and he pointed out to one of these toys, and he said that this is what I want, because I could see the wheels, I could see where it transforms, where it goes, and you know, that's a point right there that I understand, that you know where to transform certain sections. Now, I like this because it's compact, and the transformation and engineering is really thought of. It was well thought through, and I think that this is still also awesome. It's just that it's very unique in design. So, let's say goodbye to Hound, Classics Hound. And let's put this aside. Let's talk about these fellas. Alright. So, I like the comparison between these two because you could see that, first off, the size. I like big Transformers. I like my Transformers big and hefty. I think I'm getting my money's worth when it comes to more plastic. More plastic is always awesome. When I got these things, we had more plastic and they were not that expensive. So points goes to the plastics version. Let's go now to this guy. This is definitely looking more Lambo and more G1-ish than this guy would ever wish to be. This is a totally different iteration of what do you call this, Sideswipe. And again, he's a modern, sleeker, rounder look, and he has that flare pant going on, like that 70s vibe with this guy. So, but they look both awesome together. I think they even looked so different as two separate entities rather than calling them as both Sideswipe. The head design on this. Let's focus on the head design on the Chugs. Movement on the camera again. Sorry about that. Look at that. This face is pretty awesome. Again, light piping. See that? Covering the light. Okay. So, the face looks cool. Very Voltron-ish, if you would ask me. But he doesn't have that chin. He looks very flat. He doesn't even look confident to me. He looks meh. I like the Autobot insignia. Back then we painted those things and not stickers. Very nice. And this guy. Let's go back to this face right here. That is the face of Autobot confidence right there, folks. Real confident looking Autobot. I like it. And I think Xavier was one of the few people, shout out bro, that said that his face sculpt was pretty downright awesome. Pretty cool. I like it. Let's go to the back. I like the back of this guy. The back of Classics Sideswipe has that cool appeal, has that backpack thingy, more things going on. Still a very hollow figure. But this one's heavier, definitely heavier in feel with this. Ankle tilts, we wish we had a better looking ankle tilt here, but this is, you know, such a flary kind of design that takes away that sexy factor that Sideswipe had with his legs. I really think that this one is better. So, I also don't like that there is so much kibble going on the older figures. Like, you could really see, like, oh, those are the doors right there. That's where it's gonna go. And lanky arms. This one is really buff looking arms right there. It's like, yo bro, have you been working out? So that's pretty cool. I like him. So we're gonna pause the video, transform these guys, and get them all started with their look and their vehicle modes. So let's get on with the transformation, guys. I will start first with Hound because I think Hound's transformation is very unique and has a very nice engineering. So we're going to remove all those weaponry on him, and the first thing we want to do is just really, what I like to do, that is just put his hands to the side like so, and just get this little backpack thingy up right there, and just take that out. So this would be like the canopy and like the roll bars for the Jeep. So just pull this thing. Sometimes it's a little scary. Do that. And there you go. You have like the hood and the windshield. So this is the cool thing about this guy. The engineering is so different. It feels like it's Combiner Wars Cup. Just really want to flip this section right there, and that exposes the whole side of the vehicle. Same thing at this side, just flip that there, exposes the two sides of the vehicle. So our goal is to actually flip this in, so you just really want to just open that, and oops, before we do that, so just try to angle it already here. Just bring these arms so that angle it like so. Now. Okay. Yeah. Alrighty. Come on, Hound. So he does like that whole zombie kind of thing, like zombie. But just angle that in that way so that you can now freely move these in. So just lift that thing there, and this would lock. You see that little peg right there? It's gonna lock there. Alright, and then just bring the section down. Same thing with this side. Bring this there. And stick that peg in. So you can feel that it's now a little more secure and locked. Bring this whole backpack section. There would be 2 pegs, as you can see right there, that would lock this thing into place. Boom. You could just feel that. Now, these hands, where do they go? You would see that if you rotate the hands, there's like that little section, and there's a peg right there, so you can just fold that in and then just lock it into place, and then just make sure that the hands are in this direction, like so. So that is a very nice looking Humvee. There you go. Let's remove Sideswipe. Stay away. There you go. Very dark looking Humvee. You could put, I like what they did with this. There's so many ports, so many sections where you could just put it in. My cell phone is not, my phone is not doing any justice. The camera is not doing any justice because it's too dark. But you can just really put all of the weaponry. That is just one funky looking Humvee. Okay, side-by-side comparison with his Classics version. There you go. 2 different looking vehicles, and I'm saying that you can't just really have this and just let go of this. They're totally different vehicles. You know, this is more of a Humvee. This is like a Jeep, a futuristic Jeep kind of thing. Both has, you know, both of them have their own appeal. They look great. Look at that. Wonderful. This has a more minimalist kind of vibe. This one is like armed to the teeth. I'm ready to be placed with a lot more things. Oops, sorry, I didn't really flip this down here. This just really looks dangerous. This is looking very anime-ish, and I like them both. Alright, we'll put these to the side. Let's go with Sideswipe. Now, Sideswipe is a cool figure too. I like his transformation. Let's start off with the fist. Flip those thingies in. Put this guy's arms like so. Flip this section right here. You can see that his face is there. Don't worry, because this section just hides that. Awesome, awesome work right there. I like that. I like that engineering, that little trick right you got right there, guys. So bring this whole section in, so it would just like fill that gap. It's like, it feels like it's like a Tetris piece. Really great, awesome engineering. Put that in, and these sections would lock into those ports right there. Tight as a whistle right there. Good job. I like that. Open this section right here. Come on, dude. Where is that? There you go. And it feels very Combiner Wars. Like, remember what they did with the Combiner Wars? You can just have that. Oopsie, I just removed that. Don't worry, these are, you know, you can just peg those in. How do we do this again? I totally forgot. Sheesh. There we go. Where do we go from here? Where do we go from here? The goal is to... Oh, yeah. There we go. We gotta rotate this thing here. And, did we flip that in there? Yes, we do. There you go. Kind of like the old Sideswipe. Okay, so let's do the same as that. Flip that in. I was just a little scared because it was too tight. It's still too tight. Yeah, there you go. You need a little elbow grease. Come on, get in. And snap these two in place. Boom. Alrighty. Put those sections in. Close that like a little door. And bada bing, bada boom. Huh. That looks amazing. A lot of the people that I see place the gun here. I think that's a very awkward position. What I do is I just actually place it. What did I do? Jeez. How did I do that? There you go. I know this is not a section where you're supposed to put the gun, but that has a this peg right here fits snugly in this section right there. And that is a little more better. A little more. It's a lot better. It's a lot better. Yeah. Now this is the part where I was talking about. This thing right here, it's all canopy. I don't think the Lamborghini has that. So what my friend did is, like, he actually placed red stickers to cover up certain sections so that it would look more like a legit Lambo. But I like this. This is one of my favorite Lambo figures. Let's do a side-by-side comparison with the old classics. And this one's a little more realistic, down-to-earth Lambo, something that you can definitely see on the road. But while this is a more classic take to it, a Countach, how do you even pronounce that? I don't even know. But this is, I like this. It's still two different cars, two different feels. I would never leave my classics out of the picture. These guys are just fantastic. They're fantastic. So if you put them together like that, pan the camera on this side. There. These guys look great together. There is no reason to let go of your chugs. I mean, if you're really maybe streamlining and, you know, you're that kind of collector that can't have like all of the figures, which I can't. I love all my Transformers. I wouldn't let go. I wouldn't let go of these guys. These guys are just amazing. They look great together. It's like a before and after, an homage to the classics. An awesome thing to do is a little comparison between the new generations of Transformers that's hitting the market and taking us by storm. And I think they deserve to be together in the same spotlight. So I'll pause the video one last time to get everybody back into robot mode. Okay, so we're back with them transformed into their robot mode. So before we have our final thoughts about this, let me just do a little size comparison again with Optimus Prime, putting that leader, or actually that Voyager class figure in the background, and they'll scale well. So if you're asking me if these guys would look good with the new Voyager scaling, I think they look great together. The whole Siege line is something that everybody is, you know, I'm telling everybody to get them, is because it's just fun. It's a whole lot of fun to play around with. It's a very wonderful design and a take on the G1. So let's have another size comparison with another figure. Here it comes. Yeah, I'm gonna talk about this guy really, really soon. This is our leader class Ultra Mags. There you go, Ultra Magnus, right there, looking specifically leaderish. That's one nice looking figure right there. But the Autobots look great together, and I guess with the old classics and the new Siege line, I like both, and I'm gearing towards slowly more into the whole Siege line because of the playability, a lot of ports, a lot of different gimmicks, especially the Micromasters. I love the Micromasters. They're back. We'll talk about them soon. And I'm just saying that I can't still let go of my chugs. I can't let go of the classics line because I still love them. They're a part of me. They're a part of my journey as a collector. So I will not let go of them. But if you're talking about a new G1 line that's fun to collect, fun to play with, then the Siege line will not steer you wrong. So Final verdict, I think I'll score these guys maybe around a wonderful 9. They're not perfect, but I love them. They look fantastic together. So get your classics, your Siege Deluxe figures. They're out now here in the Philippines. 1,000 pesos for these guys, almost like 1,999. They're 999, almost close to 1,000. That's what I mean. We'll talk about the other guys soon, Ironhide, the rest of the deluxes that we have, but I'll probably focus more on Magnus really soon. I had a fun time playing around with this guy. So thank you very much for watching. Again, my name is Chompilo. If you have any suggestions, comments, feedback, please drop a line right there. Click that subscribe button, hit that like button. Thank you very much for watching. And before we go, remember, till all are one, peace out. Rock and roll. Ciao.